beautiful Saturday right here. I am just so super excited because we are going to terrains today that is definitely going to be fun. It's going to be learning, and it's going to be a very huge learning curve for us. A very, you know, very beneficial engagement because we are going to be we are hosting already. I mean, it's live in our studios. We are hosting a professional in the area of child psychology. He has many parts to him and he has a lot to offer, which I know is going to benefit us individually and collectively. Welcome to If You Ask Jimmy. Today we have in our studios Reverend Wasiu Adekunle Amao. Reverend Amao is an experienced child psychologist, having his background in education from the University of Pretoria with a bachelor's degree and also a master's degree in child psychology from the University of Cape Town. He has been an educator for decades right now, and beyond and above being an educator, Wasiu Adekunle Amao was a learner support consultant in the Western Cape Department of Education in South Africa. Today, we are having in our studios consultant, child psychologist, Wasiu Adekunle Amao. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here. And I'm looking forward for an interesting and fulfilling engagement. Welcome. I thank all the viewers, and I hope that you are going to have a wonderful time. Thank you very much.
Amazing. We are going to give you the opportunity to expand my introduction a bit, because you will be able to capture it better to let us understand the scope of your domain, so that our viewers, they might have questions that they might want to chat in as this program is going on. Can you tell us a little more about yourself, sir?
Okay. All right. I'm a 51-year-old, almost 51-year-old man. I'll be 51 sometime in May.
Great.
And I didn't start off as an educator, actually. But I got to South Africa in 1998. Then I decided to go into education. And because of the challenges associated with that society, the challenges in crime, the challenges in drugs, the challenges of not having both parents in the home, I felt like there was more to be contributed. And I felt like one needed to find out more about the society and what was going on. So I had to go and learn, go to the field of child psychology, where I actually got my qualifications from University of Cape Town. So at the end of the day, I am also a preacher. I founded Rafa Christian Fellowship in Nelspruit, South Africa. I pastored for quite a number of years. But currently, I would say I've retired and I'm in Lagos. But I still consult time and again for schools and for other educational institutions, even virtually as well.
Amazing. At least you were able to help us to put that, to situate that for us. Thank you very much, Wasiu Amao. If I might also ask you that, from what you're saying, your domain today was driven out of your concern for what was going on around you. What are the things that you found that needed to be done better, that made you to navigate into your professional area right now?
Okay, the kind of society that I stayed in South Africa for like over 20 years, you'll find out that as a teacher, a lot of things are very difficult to maneuver and very difficult to comprehend. It's not like the educational setup in Nigeria, where children to a certain degree are more compliant and they listen and they have a lot of respect for their teachers. But that kind of society whereby children have a lot of freedom. You understand? And corporal punishment, thank God, is not even allowed there. But that actually puts the fear and the respect for teachers out of their hearts. And a lot of them have issues at home. You know, there's a high incident of rape and gender-based violence in South Africa. And as a result, you find out that some of the children we teach, they are exposed to such things and they've been victims of such things. So we expect them to listen in class, and we end up teaching them, and they can't comprehend, they can't listen because of certain experiences that they're going through and certain things that are happening in the home. And that was the reason why I decided that maybe I could help these children better by going into the field of child psychology. And there was an area in South Africa called Tembisa. It's in Gauteng. And that place has a lot of drug users, and you have a lot of intelligent students that will be intelligent children that will be out there. They've left home and they are smoking all manner of drugs and illicit substances. So I, as a person, found that heartbreaking, and my goal was to educate myself more so that I would be able to communicate with them and see how I can intervene in their situation. And that was why I went into the field of child psychology.
Amazing. I can relate with what you are saying. I've been to South Africa, repeatedly, and I have been to Harten, and I was in Ramberg some times ago. Is it Braamfontein? Am I still locating it properly? And I saw what was going on around some stores there where, guys would just hang out and they're, handing over amala and all those kind of things, all those language and slangs they use on the street. And one can really relate that, you will be sorry. I can imagine you seeing that repeated. I was just a visitor, but to see that continuously, but it's good that you are able to at least see yourself as part of the solution and not just staying on the sideline condemning people. And that leads me to the next question. You mentioned something about corporal punishment and the kind of impact it has in our own society, even though you say it's not correct, it's not the right way, but that at least makes you, it contains the excesses of children from Nigerian background you are coming from, but that does not exist. It is not so over there in South Africa. What will you say generally about corporal punishment as a professional child psychologist? Because people here in where we are, I'm in the US, we don't spank children. Not generally, most of us that migrate here, we come to learn that we do not have to spank our children like we do at home. One of our guests here recently, who was a medical doctor and a professor of parasitology, he studied and practiced in Germany, and he told us that in Germany, it is against the law to even spank children. And I looked it up, I found it so. Now, whether it is legislated or not, or legal or illegal, what would you like to say about corporal punishment for children?
All right. There are three types of motivation. You can motivate a child in three ways. Okay? There are three types of motivation. There is incentive motivation, whereby you tell a child that if you are able to achieve this, you get this reward. Now, there is fear motivation, where you're able to tell a child that if you do not do this, this is going to be your punishment. And there is attitude motivation, whereby you've trained the child to always do the right thing. But the best kind of motivation is incentive motivation, not fear motivation. What corporal punishment achieves is that it brings fear motivation. And a lot of children that are subjected to serious corporal punishment, they normally have low self-esteem because they are not able to express themselves when they need to express themselves. And that actually affects them growing up. They won't be able to express themselves properly, and it actually affects their self-image and their self-esteem, because the moment they get beaten for the little infractions, they will not understand the next thing they will do in order to get corporally punished all over again. So as a result, yeah, it tends to make them a bit docile. So if you look at nations where corporal punishments are abolished, nations like first world nations, basically, you will find out that those are where most of our inventors come from. Those are where most of the award-winning professors and professionals come from. They were not corporally punished, but they were able to achieve great things in life. I, as a child growing up, I went to a high school where there was corporal punishment. And I can remember, even as a quiet student then, I was a very quiet person in school. I never wanted any problems. But as a quiet student, yeah, I would get punished even in class because the class is making noise. And for me, this is brutal. And for me, this is assault. This is me being assaulted undeservedly. Nobody deserves assault. So I think corporal punishment as a way of affecting a child's self-esteem and a child's ability to be coherent and to express themselves in a good way. And like the examples I said, yeah, that countries, first world countries, where corporal punishment is not enforced, you'll find that they're even doing way better than our own countries, where corporal punishment is still the order of the day. Look at our politicians, for example. You know, corporal punishment did not stop them from stealing government fund. So corporal punishment is not achieving anything, basically. I, as a father, I have desisted from punishing my own children corporally, but I have ways of punishing them if I need to, by taking away their privileges or reducing their pocket money. And there are other ways to make children comply. Thank you.
Amazing. That is so loaded. You packed a lot of things there. Wow, incentives. And you know, you are opening our paradigm to see even societies that do not enforce, do not permit corporal punishment because it allows creativity. That's what you are saying. And that children might not even know what they are being corrected for and what the expectations are when they are just spanked out of probably anger and disappointment by the parent, and it's just brutal and very vicious. Thank you very much. You have a presence in the social media. You are very loud on social media. You are well known. What do you do in the social media space? What exactly, value are you adding? What is the message that you are putting out there? And also, please share your social media handle with us when you finish answering that question.
My social media, I do not handle cases of from my profession. What I handle in social media is the level of insults that Nigerians get around the world. For example, in South Africa, where every crime is attached to a Nigerian, even when a Nigerian is not involved. In fact, recently, there's a story of a South African woman that actually sold her own child to another South African. And because the child was missing, she needed to give an excuse. And the excuse she gave was that Nigerians kidnapped my child. And my child is on the way to West Africa as we speak. A Nigerian called me over the phone and introduced himself that he's a Nigerian and he has kidnapped my children and my child and my. So, due to the investigation of the police officer, they found out that she was actually the one that sold her child to another South African. But the moment she mentioned Nigeria like this, they will change the focus away from her. So a lot of people use Nigeria to hide their crimes. Wow. And that is what I address on social media, basically on TikTok. And on TikTok, my handle is Coach Ade on TikTok, Coach Ade on TikTok. So I address some of these issues of Nigerians being extrajudicially killed by the South African police services, or Nigerians being falsely accused. There was a case of a Nigerian whom had a South African girlfriend, and the father found out that she had a South African girlfriend. She had a Nigerian boyfriend, and the father was not happy. And she told the father that she was actually raped by the Nigerian boyfriend.
Wow.
And the Nigerian guy got arrested for like 3 to 4 years. He was in jail only for her to confess later
Wow.
that no, he didn't rape me. I just had to say that because you were disappointed. My father was disappointed that I was dating a Nigerian. So those are the issues that are addressed on social media, on TikTok. Anybody can just Google Coach Ade or go on search for Coach Ade on TikTok. But I attend to South African, Nigerian political issues. That's what I attend to there.
Wow. That is amazing. So what you are saying is that you are more into advocacy and, standing up for, Nigerian issues and the welfare of people, apart from your domain in child psychology. That's really amazing. That means you are very big on Nigeria. That attribution is not only through South Africans. I was in Southeast some times ago. I wanted to travel, I think 2013. I wanted to just explore, some neighboring countries. So I went to the embassy of Swaziland. I think that was in Pretoria. Okay.
Yeah,
And then,
Arcadia, yeah.
yeah, Arcadia, where the government seat is at, the seat of government. And someone was telling me that, do I know that sometimes Cameroonians, there was a conversation because we were kept outside the gate. All right. And that there are, I'm sorry to say this, I have to mention Cameroonians, Ghanaians who pretend to be Nigerians, and they do certain things just because we are all blacks and you can't distinguish us. Sometimes some of the things that are attributed to Nigerians actually happened through some of these other nationals, right? And, even in some other parts of the world, people don't know the difference. Sometimes some people actually, maybe because of the porosity of our system in the past, I don't know right now, when we did not have a national ID, people will come and obtain Nigerian passports. And even though they are West Africans from other parts or Africans of any origin, in Europe and America and Australia or other parts of the Western world, they may not even know the difference in their accents. But because they carry the Nigerian passport that they have obtained illegally, they will hide under the guise of that passport and the persona in order to do some terrible things. I'm just corroborating my own little experience of what you are sharing with us. Thank you very much for that. So viewers, you can watch out or just go look up Coach Ade on the social media space. Coach Ade, let me say that. Coach Ade, you are back in Nigeria now. For how long did you stay in South Africa? And many people, when they are abroad, a lot of people say they don't want to come back home. They don't care about Nigeria. That's whatever. They talk down the country just because they are outside there. Sometimes they have this superiority complex and everything Nigeria doesn't appeal to them. But you are back in Nigeria. Two things. Are you so big on Nigeria? And what do you say to those people who usually condemn Nigeria and talk down on Nigeria? We know our situation is critical. It's really not too easy to, but what are your views?
Okay. I, as a person, I'm Pan-African. I'm pro-Nigerian. I love
African, pro-Nigerian.
Pro-Nigerian. I've been to half of Africa, basically.
Wow.
I've been to half of Africa. I can say that I've been to 26 countries on the continent.
Only?
26? Yes.
Wow.
And I've been to Europe before as well.
Wow.
I've not visited the Americas, but I hope probably when Trump is out of power, because I'm saying a lot of things about him that he won't be so pleased if they look at my social media handle. I will not get an American visa. But about me being pro-Nigerian, it's not because Nigeria favors everybody or because everything is right in Nigeria. No. But I find out here that I go to different countries, even the most peaceful countries on the planet, I still don't feel free. I still don't feel free. Maybe it's a spiritual thing for me. Maybe it's an emotional thing for me. I do not understand. I go to Swaziland that is peaceful. I will still feel that I'm being boxed in and I can't express myself because I'm a foreigner. I'll go to Lesotho, I'll go to Malawi, I'll go to Namibia, I'll go to Kenya, I'll go to Ethiopia. I'll feel like I'm still not at home. The only place where I feel free, where I can walk, raising my shoulders, is in my country, basically. And that is the only place a Nigerian doesn't get judged by being in Nigeria and is in Nigeria. You can get judged by being Yoruba, but you don't get judged by being a Nigerian. This is only because I'm the kind of person, I'm very sensitive to words. You see me, I tell you I'm a Nigerian, and the next thing is, you're a drug dealer. And the next thing, you are into human trafficking. And the next thing, so most of those countries, they have their biases towards Nigerians. So for me, it's a psychological thing for me that the only place where I feel at home is when I'm in Nigeria. And that when I felt like I had contributed enough, and when I felt that I was done with what I was doing in South Africa at that point, and also I felt like I needed to be around people that I'm more familiar with, due to other reasons, health-wise as well. I decided to say, let me come back home and let me see what I can do by establishing myself. So I still consult for some schools that need intervention in certain problems or bottlenecks that they have. And also I consult for some parents whose children are giving them hassles, or their children have learning disabilities like dyslexia, attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, and other kind of things like that. So I work with their children virtually and physically as well. But Nigeria is where I am now, but I do take time to go visit South Africa, visit the church, visit my friends and people I know there, and still come back home. But for now, I'm basically based in Nigeria.